Hey, hello all. In this video, we'll talk something about the measurements. For example, which tools 工具 we are going to use to measure something, or which unit in Chinese is called 單位 that you will use it to get the most accurate answer and the most well presented answer. 即係話要一啲係最好嘅表達方法同埋最好嘅展示答案係我哋容易睇嘅。So in this video, we are going to learn something like this. So first of all, let's do the question one. We are going to find out the weight of a pack of rice. The meaning means I want to know 一包米嘅重量。And for B, I want to measure the length of a book. For example, this is the length of a book. So I want you to which measuring tools you are going to use. And for C is the length of song. I want to know how long does 首歌 song. That means that you are something have a music, so that you will have how long can you take. And finally, D is the length of a bag. That means that where do you sleep? Okay, so you are going to measure the length of it. So which measuring tools you are going to use? For the first one is the watch. The watch in Chinese is called 手錶. And for B, what's the mechanical scale and ruler and the steel measuring tape? So let me have a look for this in your textbook. If you really want to find this picture, you can turn to page 5.22. Page 5.22. The second one is called the mechanical scale. It's this one in ball, and it's used to measure the weight. And for the steel measuring tape, is something like this. So that is measure the length. So obviously, we can do some questions immediately. Okay, let me move a book, a weight. Okay, because for part A, you will see it is the only one that we can measure the weight is called the mechanical scale. So that means we will use this one to measure the weight of the pack of rice. For B, I'm going to measure the length of a book. Obviously, we will use ruler because we will use the ruler. It's so easy for you. We will not use the steel measuring tape because it's so difficult for us to place on the book. So it's not easy for you. So we use the ruler. Obviously, we will not use the watch because we are not going to count the time. But what about the length of the song? Obviously, we are going to count the time of it for a song. So this is the watch. And finally, we want to measure the length of bag. We will use the steel measuring tape because it's so long enough. Because sometimes the ruler is not enough, maybe only 30 cm. But your bag, I think that you are almost 1.4 and to 1.5 meters tall. If you measure something that with 1.5 to 1.5, if you use ruler, it's not easy and it's not a very stupid way. So we will use the steel measuring tape here. So this is for question 1 answer. Now we'll go to question 2. We are going to choose an appropriate unit 單位. These are the units. We have the mm, cm, and meter. So this is called a unit for each project. For example, we have the height of a mountain. So which one you will choose? I give you 5 seconds to choose. Okay, now let's choose A. 2A, the answer for this one is a meter, because the highest mountain in the world is called Himalayas mountain. It's about 8,000 to 9,000 meter height. If you can use 8 kilometer and 9 kilometer to represent this mountain, but most of the mountain cannot be higher than that. So I will choose meter because it can show it easily for all different kinds of mountains. Okay, now for puppy, which one you will choose for the weight of a calculator? Okay, now obviously the weight of a calculator, I will choose the gram because this one is close. It's not. I think that about 100 to 200 grams is okay. It's not big and it's not small because if you choose kilogram, you will see 0. something. So it's not easy for you to mention, to imagine what is this is. Is this 0.1 kg? So how much of it? And for milligram, you will find that it's too big because you may get 10,000 milligrams. So it's not realistic. So we will not choose milligram and kilogram. Okay, now for C. Time for preparing a cup of instant noodle. 即食麵. Okay, I think this is the easiest one because always we will tell you that if you want to have a cup of instant noodle, you must use 3 minutes. So the answer for this one is minute. Okay, now for part B, you're going to calculate the volume of a box of biscuits. Okay, now obviously the answer for this one is cm cube because you will see for the dimension, that means the length, the height, and the width of the biscuit box. I think that most of them cannot be greater than some cm. So if we say the cm times cm times cm, so we'll have the cm cube is the easiest way to show the answer. So we will choose cm cube here. Okay, now we will go to question 3. Okay, now we will match the degree of accuracy. What is the meaning of degree of accuracy? That means 它們嘅最準確度。That means after you measure it, I can find something that is close to some number. Okay, now let's pair up of it. Because this is for cm, that means we must for name. For nail, in Chinese, 指甲. Which one you will choose? cm or 0.1 cm? Obviously, we will use the... For example, my nail is about 1.1 cm. So that means we will use something that in after one, I will choose some have one decimal place. So why don't we have to correct to the nearest 0.1 cm? For trousers, obviously, because we will say, it's about 100 cm, we will not complain, you have the trousers for 100.3 cm. So it's hard to measure something like this. So we will have something like, the answer is correct to the nearest 1 cm. Okay, now for B, ray of a rubber and ray of a digital camera. Digital camera in Chinese is called 數碼相機. Okay, which one you would choose for the gram or 0.1 gram? 5 seconds. Okay, once again, obviously, for weight of rubber is a little bit small, so that I can measure something that for 0.1 gram. And for weight of digital camera is a little bit heavier, 重啲啊. So we will use the range of digital to correct to the nearest 1 gram. So we have the answer for question 3 like this. And then we will go to question 4 to question 7. Okay, now we have question 4 to question 5. Let's do these two. See, for each of the following measuring tools, write down the scale interval and the degree of accuracy. Obviously, you can see the degree of accuracy in the question 3. That means they're correct to the nearest something. So for question 4, you can see how many, which one you would choose is correct to the nearest some second maybe. And then for the ruler, you can see it's correct to something. Look at this carefully. But the next one is that I want you to know is the scale interval. The scale interval in Chinese is called the... let me have a check for you all. The scale interval in Chinese is called 得量度嘅區間。量度區間 that means what you will measure after you move run space from here to here. So for the scale interval for question 4, you will see, let me have the example, because from each 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For each space you have is called 1 second. So this is the scale interval. Every time is 1 second. So the degree of accuracy is so easy for you. It's correct to the nearest 1 second. The nearest 1 second. So this is the answer. So for this one, the scale interval, let's look at it. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 between 1 cm. So the scale interval for each one is 0.2 cm. So that means this one is 0.2, this one is 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and 1. So the degree of accuracy is correct to the nearest 0.2 cm. So what we have is something like this. This is question 4 and question 5. Give you 5 seconds. Okay, now, and we will have question 6 and question 7. Now, let's do it by yourself. This one, you are going to write down the reading and the degree of the accuracy of the measurement. I will give you 15 seconds. Okay, now the answer for the question 6, you will see this is 600 and 800. In the middle is the 700. It's close to 700, so this one is 700 ml. So that every time we can read is only the 100, 200, 300, 400, and 500. So that means the degree of accuracy is correct to the nearest 100 ml for this one. And then for the nail, you will see this one is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 1.5, this is 2, sorry, this is 0, 0.51, 1.52, and this is 2.5. So I think that the reading is 2.5 cm. And every time I will count is 0.5 for each scale interval. So this is correct to the nearest 0.5 cm. Okay, this is the answer for question 7. Okay, now I'll give you 10 seconds to consolidate what you learned. Okay, now let's look at the last question. This is for the question 8. The 3 thermometers. 温度計. Below I used it to measure the temperature at the same time. Okay, now for part A, you are going to write down the temperature that show on each thermometer for thermometer A, thermometer B, and thermometer C. So which one of the above thermometer give the most accurate 最準確嘅答案? Explain your answer. Okay, now I will tell you, you will have the 30 seconds to do these questions. Okay, now if you cannot finish, just pause the video now and I will show you the answer for this one. For thermometer A, you will see here, this is every time you have 2 degrees Celsius for one scale interval. So this is about 22, I think it's the 22 degrees Celsius. For this one, is every scale interval is 1. So that you can say the scale interval here is 2 degrees Celsius. For this one, the scale interval is 1 degree Celsius. And for last one, so this one is 23. You can see immediately the answer. And finally, the scale interval for this one is obviously, you can have it is 5 degrees Celsius for each one. So that I can think this one is close to maybe 25 degrees Celsius. So I will write something like this. So which of the above thermometers give the most accurate result? Obviously is the thermometer B. Gives the most accurate result. Because you can see the scale level, okay? The scale level interval, not scale level, the scale interval is the smallest in these 3 thermometer. Okay, now let me write down the thermometer first. Okay, now I will put it here. So you will see this one is the thermometer 3. You have the accurate result because this the scale interval is only 1 degree Celsius. For the other 2 is much bigger than them. So this one will give them more accurate because we can read it so clear for you. Is 23 degrees Celsius. It's a little bit strange if you only have 22 degrees Celsius, you think a little bit cold. You may wear more clothes. For 25, you may wear less coat. So you must pay attention about the accuracy in the real world. Okay, now this is the end of this video. So make sure that you know how to know the measuring tools, the scale interval, the degree of accuracy, and also the measuring unit in each different questions. Thanks for watching.